Obviously, there's a lot of information going around about next generation, the Xbox Series X, the lack of exclusives and things like that, and everybody has their own 2 cents for it. Obviously, even though, you know, I would know a little bit about it and asked around, I'm not an expert. Nobody on YouTube's an expert. There are experts, however, and there's developers, and there's people that are talking about what's going on with the Xbox Series X and how it can be held back. Now, there's also a lot of YouTubers out there whose bread and butter is telling Xbox fans exactly what they want to hear, which would be comparing Xbox Series X to PC cards and going, well, there's no problem playing it on this card or that card, when the actual real kind of crux of the whole problem would actually be, you know, that CPU. And you have to remember that the launch Xbox One is working off 2010 parts. So here we are in 2020 and into 2021 and 2022, and games have to run on a console with 2010 parts, and that's where the real problem comes in. Again, we probably won't ever see a situation where a game won't run, okay? Because developers are going to be forced to keep that in mind the whole time. So we'll wonder always, what if, right? And I know a lot of people probably will understand what I'm talking about. So now John Linneman from Digital Foundry has actually gone on record, and I clipped some quotes out here from his Twitter. He says, I'm not fully on board with myself. The extremely underpowered CPUs in last-gen consoles can have ramifications on design. More importantly, games that did appear on 360 and X1 required separate teams with their own budgets. Titanfall 360 was a huge undertaking, for instance. What Microsoft is proposing here is removed from that. The game would need to be fully scalable, and that means certain design decisions will need to be made that take older hardware into account. There won't necessarily be a separate port studio doing it this time, which is what I was saying. Unlike some of the cross-gen stuff for like Sony and Microsoft last gen, we get a different situation where it's not exactly the same. Beyond that, someone brought up Switch ports, and he says Switch ports might be an interesting point of comparison, but then again, consider that games like Doom required separate development efforts. Imagine all that work being poured into a single SKU. So there's not going to be different teams. 343 does Halo Infinite, and that has to work on the launch Xbox One, the S, the SAD, the X, the Series X, PC, and potentially the Series S. So that's a huge, wide variety of things. The thing with PC is people with PCs can adjust their own settings. So, hey, if it's not running perfect, you can, you know, turn down this or turn down that. Consoles can't do that. The original Xbox One already struggled heavily with current gen stuff. And that wasn't where he left it either, because a lot of people will point to a game like, Gears of War 5, how it really took advantage of the Xbox One X. He disagrees. He goes, Gears 5 looks basically identical on the Xbox One S versus the X. The only improvements are resolution and frame rate, which is awesome, but also rather dull, if you get my drift, like a PC graphics card update. I am curious, though. So he's basically saying exactly what I've been saying. The Xbox One X is the Xbox Series X is the same thing as the One X, basically a current gen upgrade until it gets some of its own exclusives. So you can expect, stuff like better resolution or a steadier frame rate or some dust particles or something like that. But at the end of the day, it's basically the same game, and it's not going to fully take advantage of what it has to offer. And I'm so glad that somebody came out here and actually said it how it is, and now we kind of have proof that that's how it is. And this person, that's his job. Where YouTubers usually are just kind of, talking out of their butts most of the time, even, it's just entertainment and fun, but also it should be a little bit informative, and hopefully you guys were informed a little bit here. Please hit the like button, share, subscribe, hit that bell as well. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. What do you guys think about this? Where do you stand on this whole next-gen stuff? It looks like Sony technically has the only next-gen platform, with them having exclusives for the PS5, while Microsoft is going to do another couple years of this current gen stuff. So let me know. Rack 'em up. Crapgamer out.